Hi guys, and welcome back. A quick scheduling note for you. This week is supposed to be a learning week. Best laid plans of mice and men. I was planning to shoot the video on Sunday, and then when I woke up Sunday, I couldn't move my neck. I slept on it funny. And I even took yesterday off, hoping that I would be able to do it, but it didn't loosen up. It's feeling better right now. It's still a little twinge, so if I wince, I'm sorry. But anyway, so that means I did not get my learning filmed. I've actually been debating about going to a once-a-month schedule for learning videos anyway, just because they're a lot more labor-intensive in terms of not just taking the time to make the thing and try it, but then compiling the different snippets of video and editing. I'm not very good at that stuff yet, so it takes me a really long time. And ends up making it so that the following week when I have a WIP update, I don't have much to update because I spent all my time editing. So I'm thinking about doing once a month. Hopefully the plan is this weekend, if everything goes well, to actually sit down and film a couple of learning things so that I have them kind of in the hopper and I can practice my editing and I can work on that stuff and get those out a little bit more smoothly, because right now I have to leave for work in 20 minutes again, and this best laid plans of mice and men, right? So yeah, this week instead I am just going to give you a quick WIP update, a small stash update, and then, yeah, we'll hop right into it. And that'll be it. So hopefully this won't take too long. Probably if you're watching this right after it posts, I'll have it set to post Wednesday morning at midnight, like always. If you're looking at it right then, the links might not be present in the video description yet, because I really don't think I'm going to have time to do that. But I will get them posted after I get home from work, so by Wednesday morning they should be there, because I should get them up maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, I'll do my best. If they're not there, please just check back later. Thank you to everybody that liked, commented, or liked my video last week. Like I said, those things really help. Another programming note, I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more Stitch With Me's because they just don't seem to be very well watched, and they seem kind of self-indulgent, where I just sit there and like talk about myself in these random icebreaker questions for a while. So if nobody's watching those, I might not do them. Maybe I'll save them for the weeks when I have absolutely nothing else. So but yeah, if you do like those, please let me know. Otherwise, I might just stop doing them. And otherwise, yes, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and just let me know you're out there and say hi. I love getting the chance to interact with people. I've made some great stitchy acquaintances already that way through my YouTube and my Instagram, and I'm really loving this social media aspect of well, bringing my stitching into social media. So thank you for that. Anyway, like I said, this week is just going to be a WIP update. So we'll jump right in. The first one is, you haven't seen my knitting in a while, but I've got it here. I was right. It was a really easy fix when Lex kind of ruined it for me. It was really, I literally only dropped like 2 stitches, and it was just a matter of restitching them. So yeah, thankfully it was just the 2 stitches on the very end. This is getting really hard to show because it's now way wider than the needles. So I'm going to try to get out like just maybe half of it so you can see. So yeah, there's half, and it's already like on the edge of the needle about to fall off. I've got 34 rows left, so I'm going to try to do 1 a day, and so hopefully this will be done within a month and some change, but you can kind of see I'm getting a lot better at the mesh. Got the garter in between. This is the last really big section of garter that I just finished, and you can see I've started into the next round of mesh, and this is actually the big round of mesh. It's twice as big as anything else I've done, as the width of anything else that I've done so far. So yeah, this is going to be what really finishes the shawl off. Then there's just another couple quick rows of garter stitch and then the black off. So I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Really nervous to see how this turns out when I actually get to take it off the needle and look at it in depth, because I know I've made a ton of counting mistakes, and I'm really scared that it's going to be asymmetrical. I'm pretty sure one side is bigger than the other, and I'm hoping it's not enough of a difference that you can notice. But hey, everybody has to learn. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? So like I said, even if it doesn't work, I do want to come back and revisit this shawl again at a later date. I did the mesh backwards, and I made a counting mistake, or I dropped a lot of stitches when I first started, so I know that there are some really glaring errors in this one, and also it was made for a variegated colorway rather than a solid, but I was working with what I had in the middle of the pandemic. So this will get revisited at some point, and hopefully this next one will be a lot better. And my knitting, I've noticed, is really starting to improve, so I'm excited about that. I have my next project identified. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but that is one of the learning videos that I have in store. Is I need to look at that project and figure out if there's any new stitches I need to learn so that I can film those. The rest of the week, if you watched my stitch along last week, you kind of know what I'm going to talk about. If you didn't, here's where I am. For the month of August, I decided to focus on updating my stitch alongs. I have one ending, and the last part of the project will drop in September. That one I'm not going to show right now. If you go back to last week's video and you watch the first like 15 or 20 minutes of it, it's all of my stitch alongs and where they currently are. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can just go back and see that to see where Wonders of Space is. But Wonders of Space is releasing this Friday, is August, and then September 15th, and then that one will be done. So I wanted to kind of bring all of my stitch alongs up to date, or as close as I could get, because they keep getting larger and larger. Because every month a new piece comes out. And so every month that I don't work on them is a month that they get even further behind, because suddenly I've got even less of the pattern done. So I'm going to focus on those. So that's mostly what you're seeing today. The only other project I'm still working on, it's a priority, and I've moved the Q-snap. I've moved it up a little bit so that you can see, and this is the Harry Potter birth record that I am working on. Yeah, you can see I have got the whole middle name done. I've started up on the first name. Those letters are huge. They are going to take a long time, each individual letter. I think this is pretty close to 200 stitches by itself, just this part of this D, and that's not even half of the D. So they're going to take a long time. Progress on this is going to start looking really slow, but it is happening. So I have the first name and the last name. That's another thing. Progress is going to look slow, because even though the family said they don't care that I show off the stats, I'm still going to cover the last name just for privacy purposes. So the entire time I'm stitching that, you can approximately see what the size of it is going to be. You're not going to see that, so those weeks it's going to look like I didn't get a lot of progress in. But first name, last name. This is the weight, the length, the time, and the birthplace. So I will be getting that done as fast as I can. As you can see, I finally went in and did the back stitch. Let me see if I can get closer with that. Hopefully you can see a little bit better some of the detail. I think it really made a huge difference. Not even just adding the glasses and the smile and whatever, but just like defining some more of the colors and adding some detail to the hair and stuff. So I'm really pleased with how this one is turning out. We're turning a corner. I'm almost done with page 1. Page 2 is already halfway done, and so yeah, we're closing in on, we're at least probably a quarter of the way done, closing in on halfway. If you did watch the stitch with me last weekend, you know that I worked a lot on the avatar. Well, not a lot. I only got 4 rows done. I worked on the avatar stitch along, so this is rolling right along. Unfortunately, I'm still in part 1. There's 4 parts already released, and 2 to go. Yeah, 5 and 6. So I am way behind, and you can't really see that with the light behind it. But that's where I am. We've got some water starting. I've got Avatar Roku done. So I just have to get this background done, the water and the Rocky standing on, and then I can move into some of the other ones. So full coverage is taking a long time, but I love it. So I'm really happy with it, and I don't mind working on it. Other one I've managed to work on this past week is Grimm's Fairy Tales. I finally finished February! Yay! I went ahead because counting down is easier for me than counting up. And so what happened, it went January, February, March, April, May, and like came around like this. But July is right below February, so that's where I am working now, is in July. And you can see there's January, the Birmingham Musicians, February was The Princess and the Frog, and here I have got a start on The Fisherman and His Wife, which was July. And then August is right below it, is Sleeping Beauty, so I'm going to do those 2, and then I'll probably actually come over here next to January was June, which is the Pied Piper, and do those 3 before I go back up and pick up the spring ones that came in along the top. But I'm pretty pleased with how this one is turning out. It seems to take longer than it looks like it will because there's a lot of color switches. You do just like small amounts of the color and then you switch colors. So it's taking a while. It's almost like it's confetti, but not really. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the way I feel about it. So, but yeah, loving the way that it's coming together. Super, super way behind. This is one of the ones that when I finish the birth record, this one is actually probably going to be my priority project because I really, really want to try to have this done by Christmas, and I've got a lot of work to do if I'm going to make that goal. Wouldn't be a WIP update if I didn't mention my temperature stitch along. So here we go. You can see that. It's coming along beautifully. We are almost up. Next week we will finish a rotation. So I'm excited about that because we finally get to see some of the work. These triangles are actually not this, even though right now they look like they might be. So I'm excited to get into some new aspects of the design, even though right now it's actually quite easy to stitch because I've got a really good idea of, since the pattern's been repeating itself, I can just look at the square and I'm like, oh, it's that square, and I don't have to think as hard and count as hard to get stuff done. It still takes me about 2 hours to do a week's worth of stuff though, so I might try to actually stitch on this every few days instead of waiting until Tuesday and trying to do the whole thing. That's why I have to leave for work in 9 minutes and I'm still filming. Because it took me a lot longer than I ever planned to. You'd think by now I would know how long it takes me to do this stuff. But I don't. So, someday I'll learn. Until then, I guess you'll just hopefully put up with it. Thank you. Alright, so somebody really needs to take away my access to Etsy and Instagram and my Facebook groups and any place else that I get pattern ideas, because I started 2 new stitch-alongs this month. And I'm starting one on September 1st. Yeah, I have a problem. So I get new projects, and they're stitch-alongs, and they're timed, and it stresses me out when I get behind, and then I start new stitch-alongs. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry. I try. Anyway, but they're cool. They're so cool. I couldn't resist. So the first one is, this one technically hasn't started yet, but we've gotten the frame, and that is the Stitching Book Club is getting ready to start Frankenstein, going into our going into spooky season. I think it starts August 29th, but in the meantime we have the frame to stitch and the center. So I've started, and the nice thing about this was it's all one color. There's no specific colors. It was just whatever you have in your stash. So I had ordered some floss for Pandemic and then decided I couldn't use it with the fabric that I wanted to use because color on the computer versus color in real life, they ended up being almost exactly the same color, the fabric and the thread. So couldn't use it for that. So I had 5 skeins of this stuff, and then I have this fabric in my stash that works really well for that. So here is Frankenstein. And you can see I've got almost all of the letters done. I have FRA left to do, and then I have the rest of the frame and the design to do. This is 16 count Aida from Picture This Plus in Barnwood, and then the color is DMC, I think it's 4015, Stormy Skies. I know the name is correct. I think the number's correct. So yeah, I just pulled a few things I had in my stash, and so that was nice and convenient. And hopefully I didn't bite off more than I can chew. I am actually going to listen to the book on audio while I stitch, instead of trying to find time to also read, because it is a stitching book club. We're going to read Frankenstein while we're stitching. So yeah, I got the audiobook. I got a version that is really highly rated, like the narrator won an award for it. So hopefully, yeah, I've never read Frankenstein before, so I'm really excited about that. And then the last one is the Everything is Fine Stitch Along. It's The Good Place themed, which I love that show. I haven't seen season 4 yet, so no spoilers, because it's not on Netflix yet. But as soon as it is, I will be watching it. And yeah, in the meantime, Son of a Stitch has come up with a great little stitch along. If you heard me talk this week, you know there's multiple ways to do this. You can do it as 11 small, they're designed to be small hoop framed projects, or you can do it, he gave us a grid where you can do 10 of them, and then there will be a larger double-sized project in the center. Oh, excuse me. So I'm doing it on the large one because I don't want to try to keep track of 11 little pieces of fabric. So here is what I've got so far. I've got the Take It and most of the bow tie done. It's supposed to say Take It Sleazy when it's done. Yeah, hoping to finish this one really soon. Like I said, I've got the bow tie more than halfway done. I've got one more word. I have enough of the frame that even if I didn't get any more done before part 2 of this releases on August 30th, that I could tell where part 2 was supposed to start, because this is the end of the frame, so the next one would start right there. So yeah, I think it's adorable, and I love it, and I love the way it's turning out. Even just sitting here looking at it from this distance, the bow tie is just so cool, isn't it? I mean, the detail in it is awesome. So yeah, loving that one. Oh, and my needle is sticking in it. So that's all for WIP updates. One quick haul update, and then I will get this uploaded, and I'll worry about updating the show notes and stuff later, because I got 3 minutes until I have to be out the door. So yeah, let's get this done. And that is I have a stash update. Small one this time. My fabric of the month from Mystic came in, and I also started pulling the colors for the Dark Queen of the Seas, which starts September 1st. And I don't know if you can see these, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's all like pinks and blues. There's some of the blues. So yeah, I am super, super excited for this stitch along from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And yeah, so I've got all my colors in. Those are the ones that aren't in other projects. These are the ones that are in other projects. That's something I do with my projects is I keep a list with the chart of colors that are in different projects and where they are, so that when I go to stitch on something I know where it is and I don't end up having, like, for example, I know I've got, which number is it? 743. I'm working on like 6 different projects that call for 743. I've got more than one skein, but I don't need 6 because I'm not using that much of it. So yeah, that's how I keep track of where my floss is without having like a skein in each project. So this is my fabric of the month from Mystic. It's showing kind of purple here. It's actually wine. You can kind of see it as it gets over into the light. And that's one thing. I've ordered new lighting that hopefully will help with some of my issues. It's also, I ordered a new tripod that will do 180 degrees so that I can film my hands more easily, because when I'm trying to film with the headgear, I can't tell if I'm filming, so it's actually always really far away, and I know you guys have a hard time seeing. But yeah, this is Please Scream Inside Your Heart. Isn't that name hilarious? Obviously based on the Japanese amusement park thing that has been circulating in the press lately. It was originally supposed to have a different name, and then when that came out, Misty is like, you guys, should I name it this? And of course we were all like, yes. So Please Scream Inside Your Heart. It's a deep wine color. I love it. We'll definitely find something to do with that one. So there you go. That's it. And I'm supposed to be out the door right now, so I might be a few minutes late to work. Oh well, they'll get over it. I'll stay late to make it up. But yeah, that's it. So I will see you again in a week. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy. Give me a shout out. Let me know what you like, what you don't. And don't forget to tell a friend. And then I will see you next week. Bye.